Good evening, and welcome to another stream of the Iron Man. So far as I can see, all I've got here is Peter. Good day, Peter. Glad to have you. So we're gonna start tonight with issue 71. We left off on issue 70, which it was the pelvis section and the first part of the base. And from what I'm talking to Todd, this base is actually for holding Iron Man while you build him. So let me set this up off to the side. Let me get pack 71, get it open, and you can see there's the other half of the base. Hey Lee, welcome. Glad you could make it. So let me get this out. And I already, along with this, the second set of 4 issues, the last shipment I got, there was the power supply for the deluxe base. I already built that earlier today off camera. Nothing really to see on that base, so I'm building it for the most part off camera. So here's the other half of the base. And we've got central leg supports, part 1 and 2, ball joints, and lower hip armor. Don't need these just yet. First thing I have to do is start working with ball joints and the hips. Let me get the LP screws put away though. And since they are LP, they're going into plastic. Won't need the oil yet tonight. Although you can see right here behind my logo, the oil was already open from when I worked on the other base earlier tonight. So 71B, you take the and I'm finally using some parts from before. Let's see. Not in this box. Should be in this box, I think. $33D. These are parts that I've had a long time, apparently. Is this it? Yeah, it is. So I had this sitting here in both of them, thinking that was what went in there. Just called in, big thumbs up, looking good build. Good luck with the build. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it. So take the 33D marked with an L, and there's the one with the L. Let me see if I can get it angled just right to where you can see it. Trust me, it's there. And this one's going to be marked with an R. Yep. $71D, I believe, should be the same on either side. Let me look back real quick. Yeah, 2 71Ds. So this is going to go on here like that. This should be marked with an L or an R on it somewhere. I'm not seeing any markings on it. About this one. Interesting. They are very close to identical. Let me turn off the heat underneath me because I just turned it on because it's a little cool in here, but now it's starting to get really hot. So comparing it to the pictures in the magazine, this is 71C, this is 71B. Remove this out of the way. Evening, Kenneth. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Evening, Gordon. Welcome. So this should be 71B, and I just said B is this one. So the ball joint goes on there like that. Gets attached. You can see the indent there. It goes on there like that. This is going to go just hang on there. And let me get, where's the screwdriver? There it is. Let me get out 4 of the LP screws, which I'm going to need for this. Going to sleep. I see on the catch up tonight, 2 in the morning here, and all right, sounds good, Lee. I know it's kind of late for you guys in. Believe you're in Australia, or no? I think you're in England. Sorry, because of the time. I never know for sure. So let me get that out of the way. And grab only one screw and not the little cup that I put it in. UK. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking you were in Australia. I know Peter's in Australia. First one is started. Get the second one started, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down. By the way, this will probably be the last Iron Man stream for a while because that's all the parts I have. Actually, these screws are poking through to the other side. So it's on there like that. You can see screws poking through there a little bit. Yes, 11 a.m. in Australia. Okay. And Peter, yes, has a really good channel. UK, 11 a.m. in Australia, and Peter has a really good channel. You do the same thing with this other ball joint. Slide it through there, pop it on there, and 2:10 in the morning UK time. That was from Gordon. Hi, anytime. Yeah, hi, honey. Sorry, I've been up all night. I can't stay up that late these days because I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. But I was looking at it, and I am just shy of 3 years and 10 months from retirement. that is the two hip joints, and that is all that is going to be done with them right now. Eventually, they're going to go together. I believe they should go together like that. Something like that. So let me set these off to the side, bring these parts over, along with the support posts and a couple of clips. And I didn't look to see what it said. I'll have to look and see what it says real quick. This is a piece of lower hip armor, and it is plastic. Okay, so these get turned over. And these two clips just slide down here on either side, holding it together. And then these posts will all go across the middle. I am glad this is not the end stand, because I would not like to have that seam in the middle there. It matches up pretty good, but it's still not something I want in the middle of my Ironman stand. So these all just will go on here like this. Check, it should be about 8 screws. It doesn't say, but I'm sure should be 8 screws. 2, 4. There's 8. And what I'm going to do is start on one end here, put the first screw in, and then put the first screw in on the other side, kind of go back and forth between the two sides until all 8 screws are in. Night, Lee. Have a good evening, and we'll catch you next time. And I'm not tightening these down all the way right now. I'll go back and tighten them all down once I get all the screws started. Last one on this side. Last one on this side. And I'm going to tighten this one all the way down and continue all the way across with them. Something just popped right there. So I'm going to go back the opposite direction, tightening them down. You can see these are actually for support in the middle of the model. I've lost track of which ones I have tightened and which ones I have not, so I'm just going to tighten them all. Got a survey today from Fanhome, and apparently they have a lot of things in the works. One of them they mentioned in that survey was the Batmobile, and I'm very much hoping to see that one come out. I'd love to see the tumbler on this side of the ocean, but I'd really like to see the 66 Batmobile come out. So there's the stand. This hole here is where the rod that supports the Iron Man is eventually going to go. And that is issue 71. Issue 72 is also some larger parts. Get this open. So issue 72 has the chest. A couple of the rod, arc reactor holder, the reactor mast, the base plate for the reactor, a couple of pieces of tape, some pins, and some screws. The reactor mast, I'll still attach it if it does go on right now, but it's not going to do anything on my arc reactor because my arc reactor no longer has a battery in it. It now has 2 wires coming out instead. Because eventually, on the deluxe stand, I'm going to drill a hole into it, and I'm going to work out some way to run power, probably up the pole, to power the entire Iron Man from wall power. So this is metal. That's the chest plate, or the base of the chest plate. Come on. Doesn't want to come out. We've got 2 pieces of rod. The push button to turn on the arc reactor. Housing for the arc reactor. Some pins. There are the pins. Some screws, and that's all the parts in there. I don't think I need this on here right now. So yeah, take this part here. Let me put away IP and EM. Let's put away the screws. The ever popular EM screws. More EM screws in this build than anything else. So take these 2 parts, turn this over. This only goes in one way. You've got the 2 pieces sticking out here, larger pieces, 2 smaller pieces, the 2 screw holes, and the hole for where the arc reactor button would actually be. Just make sure. You can see same holes all the way around there. A couple of positioning pins and the 2 pins for the screws. So I'll drop that on there. Get out 2 EM screws. Move the oil over here. Dip the first screw in it. And feed it down in there. The second one, do the same thing, then I'll tighten them both up. Oops. You could hear when the screwdriver came off and I thumped the back of it, you could hear it is metal. Come on, get in there. That's better. It didn't thread the first time. There's that one. Get this one down. It's kind of funny because the pictures kind of make this look shiny. Make it look as shiny as this piece. You know, a little bit chromed, but it's not. So this is the push button for the arc reactor. Not going to do anything in mine, but I'm going to still put it in place. Pin goes through here. It's going to stick out like that. There's 2 pins here with screw holes. That's going to sit on there like that. And it needs 2 of the IP screws. Whoops, knocked it over. Just looking at this, depending on how long this is left open like that, I don't think it's a really good design because you could end up snapping this off and not have any power, any way to turn on your arc light. Or the arc reactor, sorry. You know, before I go any further, let me just take a look at my arc reactor. So that's where the hole for the pin goes. I'm just looking to see. A little bit of noise here real quick. Drilling holes in a $1,500 model. It doesn't say to install the arc reactor right now. I'm just making sure that everything is going to work out. Kind of almost wish I'd made the wire a little bit longer. So that should sit down in there. And something is eventually going to actually hold that in place. Like I said, that post in the back is kind of in the way. See if we can do this. Set the post there. That's not going to work. I'm trying to be cute and set this up to where I can bring some power over. And that looks fantastic. Matter of fact, you can see now camera's blowing it out a little bit until I turn it to the side, but that looks fantastic, I think. And I don't have to push the button to light up the arc reactor. We take it back out, set it back in its storage box. And next page. So on the next page, put together the support bar. There are 3 pins, 1 spare. Small holes or line, insert the pins. Necessary, tap them with a hammer to ensure they're in place. So that's lined up. I just happen to have should have well, that's interesting. I'm missing my hammer. Might be over with the pearl. Unless, is it over here with the tools that I'm using regularly? It is. There we go. Come on. Try this top one first. Because the holes are a little bit off. Morning, Mike. Welcome. Got the first one started. Let me get this one started. Actually, that one went home pretty well. Okay. So there you can see the 2 pins I just hammered in. They can go up here. It can go up here. This last pin, I'm going to throw into one of these containers. I've got a couple small parts like that. And that can go. That is all that there is to do in issue 72. Issue 73 has a few interesting looking parts to it. Let me go ahead and get the frisbee, I guess you'd call it, out of the way. Don't need the hammer anymore. Hey, Eric, welcome. Eric just woke up. You know, I just realized something. There's tape here, and I didn't read what that tape is for in the last book. Let me take a look real quick. I don't think it's anything important, but just in case. It's an adjustment sticker that goes on the lower end of the mast. which is what they're calling that. It just wraps around here. Like that. Supposedly, it's going to make it easier to put it in there. Let me drag the rest of these parts over. I had them quite a ways away. Okay, so in this pack, I should get out a pair of tweezers. Got some felt pieces, GM, IP, and KM. So let me put the screws away. I think these are go on these arms here so that you don't scratch the paint. KM screws and the GM screws. By the way, Eric, you were just in time to not see me turn on the arc light or arc reactor. It works once it's plugged into the chest. It works very well. I'm going to move this over here where I can actually reach it. Okay, so we got the breastplate, 2 breastplate elements, neck armor, the 2 support brackets, the adhesive strips, many screws, and a pretty hefty looking spring. I should never clean up the bench because as soon as I do, I can't find anything. I put stuff away today. And I know I've got half a dozen or more tweezers in this drawer right next to me, but I couldn't find one. It works. It worked before, Eric. It was just had to test it again. I like the way it looks inside the armor itself. Okay, so they want me to take this part here and put these elements on. So this goes like this. These should go on here, I believe. That's the right direction. Does it have any markings? R, that's the right one. Okay. So there's a couple of sockets on here, one there and there, 4 sockets to be precise, and then a couple of pins that have screw holes in them, so they'll go on there. They'll go on here like that. Both of them will, and then IP screws will hold it in place. So let me get 4 IP screws out. Get the first one started. And that right there is why I'm getting them started. That's upside down. I can tell it's upside down because of where this dot is. This dot here is up higher than it was. I had it down right where the detailed paint below it. This where I had it before. Let me get the other one and I'll show you. I don't think it would actually matter that much, but it was on this way instead of this way. Actually, I say that now. It's not. Don't think it's going to matter that much. It's going to turn out those two dots hit something in particular on the outer armor. Okay, so that one's started. Come on, get in there. That one started, and let me get the last one. Just tighten that up. That one. And the fourth one. Just looked up, saw that I was almost off screen. Part of the reason I have this black mat here is to keep me on screen. So you can see the 4 screws there. Detail parts are on there, and they're actually raised off the surface. And then the neck, armor's going to go in there like that. These 2 posts here are going to line up with these sockets and screw holes. And this, by the way, is plastic. So far, everything has been plastic except for the support rod and the chest main piece. And there are 2 cutouts on either side here. One here, that line up with tabs on the sides of this piece. So let me turn that back around correctly, get those tabs lined up, and 2 more IP screws. It's kind of a different angle that these go in at. Oops. Because as far as the red piece is concerned, it's kind of going to be at an angle, I think. Let me see. Come on, get back on there. No, it's not. It looked like from the top of the red piece, it looked like it should go in at an angle, but it goes in straight perpendicular to the surface here. So that one's down. That one's down. I felt it actually shift the way the neck sits in there. So let me move this out of the way. Matter of fact, let me just take the arms and the spring The spring is exactly why I got the tweezers. And this goes on here. Yep, it's going to make sure it slides in here like that. You can see a couple of, you can see there the screw holes. But I'm looking. I'm just looking right now because I don't see where those screws are going to hit. We'll find out because it should be. It goes on here like that. I mean, it can't go any other way. Wait a minute. Okay. They're hidden. Right there, here, and here are those screw holes. I was looking for it in the black. Only need 2, but I got about a half dozen. So let me see if I can get it to cut the threads. And there's one started. Get the other one started. Get this one the rest of the way on here. So you can see now the 2 screw holes. The chest armor is getting there. Not too concerned, like I said, that don't like this, the way they did this, but not too concerned if I snap it off. It's not doing anything for me anyway. But not to tempt fate. So it says to take, is it this one? Yeah. This one, and that rubber padding is going to go on here. It's kind of funny. They kind of expect you to, you're supposed to put it on while it's still attached, but there's no way to do that considering the fact that it's one single piece there. Just looking to see where they have theirs. Actually, they started on this one. Let go. Okay, I see where it's at, or where I think it should be, because there's kind of a little bit of groove in there. Nope, not far enough down. So we're going to start from the other end. And it's 3M, so it's sticky as all get out. Line it up on this end and feed it down so that hopefully that pad, you can see where it ends here and where it ends here, is going to keep the armor from getting scratched up. And do the same thing on the other side here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start at the end of the jaw. Get it on as straight as possible. Get that, pull that little extra piece that's hanging off right here, if I can. There. And so that one's on there. So the spring sits on here like this. Okay. You can see the groove here. So the spring's going to sit on there into that groove. Same thing on this other side. And then it gets attached with a GM screw. Since it's M, it goes into metal, get a little bit of oil. Tighten that down, and you can see how the spring works. And then there are two posts back here, each of them with a screw hole in it. And it's hole facing down, or cover the spring, secure the bracket, attach the mast to the base, fit the pegs on the bracket, and secure it. Does not say where to put it, but looking at the pictures, they have it. The first two are open, holes 3 and 4. First two are open, holes 3 and 4 is where they have it. Almost lost the screwdriver. Thank God for a fat belly. So it's going to go on here like that. Man, that's loose too. That feels very loose. Double check its tightness. That's as tight as it's going to get. Get out 2 KM screws. These are a little bit longer. Put one, oh, hang on, before I do that, dip it in Earl. Will it pull it in the way I want it to? There we go. When I first started putting it in, it was hanging down at an angle, and it tightened it up. Grab the other screw, do the same thing with it. So now, got the bracket. Get this out of the way here. Grab the Frisbee. Slide this in here if it'll fit. Interesting. This tape is supposed to make it go in there easier. But it keeps it from going in at all. Okay. Better. And then supposedly this supposed to, look at that. It will hold the armor. Right now it's just holding the chest, but it will hold the armor eventually. I believe that's the actual rod that goes into the deluxe display base as well. So let me get this back out of the way. And get issue 74 out. Issue 74 looks like it's going to be a really, really quick issue. Bring the IP screws back over. Really nice detail part. If Todd was here, he would convince me to chrome this. I think it looks good the way it is, so I'm not going to chrome it. This will fit down over top here, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 screw holes to match up with the pegs on the back. Turn it over the right, so it's right side up. Okay, that was in. Key thing is getting the pegs to line up all at the same time. Let's see, prepared. I can't really tell how close that is to the hole. Three out of 4 are in. That's not working. Come on. Pull it back off if I can. Let me see. Must be on the other side of the room somewhere. Looking for my headlight. That should be handy, but it's not. Let me try this again. That might help too. I'm trying to put it on upside down now. There we go. Was a little bit of stuff on the one pin on that side that was keeping it from going on. 5 IP screws. Let me put one away. And then hit the 4 holes in the back of the armor. You can see right there, there, and there are the screw holes. And those goes directly into those posts that were giving me grief putting the detail of the chest on. Or breastplate, okay. I just looked at what it's called. There's number 3 and number 4. That one's tight. That one's tight. Good. And good. So now all 4 screws are down. And see, this thing is still flapping. But all 4 screws are down, and now the breastplate is attached. I keep laying it on that thing. I really shouldn't. One of these times it's going to snap right off. And that was all there was to do in issue 74. Issue 74 was pretty quick. And that's what I've noticed is that as we get further along, some issues have quite a bit to do. And then there's issues like 74 and I believe 75, which have very little to do in them. So issue 75. Put the rest of these over here. Just has some right rear shoulder plate. Okay, right shoulder plate and rear right shoulder plate. Finishing detail and some screws. RP, which is a new type of screw. Haven't had it yet. See if I can, there we go. Sticker came off finally. RP screws in there. Put one away. And the old faithful EM screws. Oh, there's the other one. Dropped it in there and didn't see it anymore. Okay, so on here, you can see that hole there. Lines up with that hole there, so it's going to be like that. And then the RP screw will go down through there. This is a long screw. And it is threaded all the way down. It is actually cutting threads into the wing part. The socket for the screw is right size to where the screw head disappears down inside. This is a little bit tight, but it'll loosen up with use. And this detail part here, that there has a pin, goes into the hole here. Press lightly to fit it into place. It's a decorative finishing piece. And no wonder it's not going in because I'm trying to put it in upside down. On there like that. Oh, I like the way the color on that changes based on the angle of the light. And this is going to go on here. Okay, so this tab, that tab is going to go through that slot there. And there's a hole. There's a hole there for the EM screw to go into. So that's going to slot in there like that. I'm sitting here trying to push it further back, and it actually, I was pushing it trying to go this direction, and it just pushes straight down. And then you can see on this side, that's where right there where my finger is, that's where the screw hole is on the other side. Just take the EM screw, dip it in oil, thread it in through there. And miss the post completely. I did. I literally missed that post completely. Let's try this again. So actually, where I was going wrong was I had it pushed all the way down. I'll show you on the left side. Once I pulled it up a little bit, go ahead and move that out of the way. Once I pulled it up a little bit, it actually hit the post. Okay, and that folds down like that. Not quite so far. I think right there. So let me set it on this side. And that's all of issue 75. '76 is the exact same thing, but on the left side. I'll move this over here so it would be easier to get to it. Haven't touched it. Two EM screws. Two RP screws. put away the spares. Oops. Open the wrong thing. Open the thing for QP screws. Open the instructions. Make sure that nothing is odd on this one. This time, I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to put the detail part on before I put this part onto the rest of it. And you can see right there, there's an indent actually for the detail part to go onto. And I'm about to try and put it on upside down again. Pops in there just snug as you can be. That slides in there like that. We get the QP screws, or screw, not screws. Feed it in there and tighten it down. And again, a little bit more. Tighten it down to where it's, maybe that's why that one's tight. Hang on. No, same thing. So I can take it back that little bit. Again, that one ends up just below the surface. So now, where I had the problem with this part right here, trying to get that in there, let me show you. So you've got that, and it looks like it should go this way, but actually it goes straight down because the tab sticks straight down. And when you push it down, when it's pushed all the way down, it doesn't quite line up. This post, you can see the hole is right there. And you can see it popped off of there. So the hole is right there, and it's not quite lined up with the post. Thanks, Eric. I agree. I love the way the paint changes a little bit of color when the light changes. So if I push this all the way down, it's not going to line up. So I lift it up just a hair. Start feeding the screw in. Come on. That'd help if I was on the hole. For anybody who is on the wrong channel, you know, a different channel from what Eric is, that's what he said. It's starting to look really cool. Okay, let's get this back in here. Come on. I think, oh no, it's threaded in there. I was going to say, I was thinking it was hitting or missing from on the wrong side again. But it's in there, it's threaded. Tighten this puppy down. Yes, it does. And not all of it looks like that. I do love that paint job, though. And that is everything for issue 76. So issue 77 is where we start working on some of the internals. I was about to grab issue 78. My gut feel is 77 and 78 are not identical. I was thinking they were. So a couple of LP screws. It does not come with binders for the books. Yeah, I don't think, I was thinking about it. I don't think there were any binders for the books, but truthfully, hole punch along the edge here, and you could put it in just a regular notebook. Arm base 1, arm base 2. These are going to go together just like that. It's a star-shaped point here on each side. A couple of posts with sockets for those other posts. And it's going to pop on here like that. Two of the LP screws. The outer holes. Get this one started. Tighten it all the way down. Actually, so this other one is still not all the way tightened. You can see it actually closes it all the way down when it's tight. To where there's little to no gap. Not positive where this is going to line. Yeah, I am. And that's going to be a long screw because this is going to go on here. That's going to go in there just like that. Oops. And Eleanor did, well, that's the thing. Eleanor was a eagle moss. This was not eagle moss. This was straight Fanhome. Looking good, mate. I'm off. Need to video some of my own model building. Have a great day. You too, Pete. Glad you could make it. Enjoy. Have fun while you're building your own models and your video. See you next time. Yeah, and actually, it doesn't say that it has to go in there, but there in the pictures it shows where it goes. And there's going to be a couple of long screws in there to hold it in place. Issue 78, which is the last one I happen to have. Pull this back off of here because I need it. This was LP. I think it was LP. Where? There. Yeah, that's an LP. 2 QP screws, more LP screws, and some very nice looking pieces. This is another part that Todd, I'm sure, on his chromed. So LP screws, there's 4 of them, so 1 should be a spare. QP screws, 2 of them, so 1 should be a spare. So we got the right shoulder joint casting, right shoulder socket, friction block, right shoulder ball joint. I remember these friction blocks from the end right shoulder support for right shoulder, or for right shoulder armor. These friction blocks they did in the Terminator as well. They loosen up, unfortunately, a little bit. Just place the right shoulder joint casing. I had that backwards. That gap there has to be towards me. Right side of the arm. To identify right side, 2 pegs should be facing to the right. Slot should be facing downward. And so this part here, there's a keyway on here that's going to go into that open slot there. Just like that, so that it will not turn. And you take the QP screw, the QP screw is going to go down into the hole here, into a screw hole, just like that one on the other side. That's going to go on there like that. And then this friction block, which is concave, it's going to go in here with the concavity pointing up. Ball joint goes into the ball joint socket. Imagine that. Like that. And then on the ball joint socket, there is a pin right here and 3 screw holes. So the pin is going to go, come on, focus, right there. Don't you go sliding around. Like that. But it's going to take some serious push to get it on there. And it actually points out the pin. This pin's off right now. Okay, that's got the pin where it's supposed to go. I'm going to drop one of the screws in here. If I can get it to stay in place. Get that started. Get the one on the other side started. Fix the shoulder joint with 3LB. The assembly should be secured fairly tightly. Keeps the arms, but take care not to over tighten the screws because you may damage the plastic pieces. Position the 3 screws, then turn them all a little, screw them in firmly. In other words, don't over torque one of the screws and strip it out, because this is, you don't want to have one with too much pressure on it. So right now it's a little bit off. I need to tighten this one up a little bit more, but I'm going to slowly crank them all down, just rolling around until it's as far as it's going to go. Doing this with plastic parts is not the best idea, because plastic parts can strip out pretty easily. I think that should be good, just because. I'm just looking. Okay, those two are the same distance. Do this one a little bit more. And that should be good. And this, some way, shape, or form. Okay. These gears are what's going to hold the arm in place as well as this. So this, if I can get it back on there, is going to go back on here like this. And then looking at screw holes, and keyways, this will be on here like this. And then there'll be something to make some way that you ratchet this around, because I know they didn't go straight with what they did on, like with what they did on the Terminator. There's actually something that, no torque value. No, Keith, no torque. But somehow this is going to ratchet around. It's going to actually be pretty cool. So we got the hips started. These obviously are, these are going to go on here like this. At some point in time, you're going to get a couple more tensioning discs. They said leg, but I think this actually belongs to the crotch. Let me see, just for giggles. Let me see. This should actually, I believe, maybe, except for that's closed all the way. I was thinking this would go on here somewhere, but it doesn't look like it. Oh, and last time when I was working on this, I put these on together, or put these on backwards. They're tightened now. This one's a little bit better than the other one. There's nothing I can do to tighten it up in here, because this is just, this is just 2 pins, but I can tighten this a hair. Maybe. Let me get this one. It's a little bit difficult to get in there with the... Yeah, that's too much. Yeah, so this will still flap pretty easily, but not so much on the other side. Okay, that's it for tonight, guys. That's it for probably a month or two on Iron Man, because that's all the parts I have. And Iron Man comes regularly once a month, so it's going to take at least 2 months before I have enough parts to even do one single stream. So next Monday, I will be going back to, I plan on at least, going back to the Volkswagen, and I'm going to still work on the Routemaster. I'm going to do videos on the Routemaster rather than doing streams, because I don't think everybody wants to watch me put 500 screws into the Routemaster. I mean, if you do, just leave a comment that you want me to stream the Routemaster, and I may do it on a weekend stream. Sorry, taking a drink. So, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers and see what we're doing. We're both on Facebook and on YouTube. We have Discord, and if not before, I will see you on Friday evening when we do the Friday live stream. Friday live streams are still going to be at 8 o'clock. Sunday has changed from noon Central to 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Love to see you there. Join us on Discord. We post a link there. You are welcome to join. Catch you later. Have a great day tomorrow. Have a great evening. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.